I'm Nathan and welcome to Teach the Table. Today I'm going to teach you how to play Seven Wonders. It's a civilization building game revolving around one of the seven wonders of the world, and what makes it unique is it can play up to 7 people in under 30 minutes. So each turn, everyone is doing something all the time. There's lots of stuff to pay attention to, what everyone's doing, as well as lots of strategy still to be had. So let's set it up and I'll show you how it goes. Seven Wonders is a game where each player has a board representing one of the ancient 7 wonders of the world, and they're going to have a hand of 7 cards. Simultaneously, they will all secretly choose a card they'd like to play, and we reveal them together to play that card. The remaining cards in your hand will get passed around to the next player, and the game is played in 3 separate rounds, representing 3 different ages. So in the first age, the cards get passed clockwise, which is indicated on the back, second age counterclockwise, and in the third age clockwise. At the end of the very third age, we're going to score up all the points, and the player with the most points wins. There's different ways to get the points, and there's lots of different types of cards in the game, so I'll show you what they all do, as well as what you can do with those cards. Starting out, each player's wonder just produces 1 resource in the upper left-hand corner for them. In this case, this one produces 1 brick. Throughout the game, you may get additional gray or brown cards, which just give you 1 additional of a various type of resource, and you would line those up with your original one just like that, so you can easily see which resources you produce at a time. Some cards have a cost in the upper left hand corner, like this card costs 1 brick in order to play it, so in this case I have 1 brick and I could easily play that card. Some cards have a cost in coins, where you actually have to spend coins that you have in order to play it. If you ever see resources like this, you have to choose one or the other. It doesn't produce stone and brick. You would just each turn you could either use it for the brick or use it for the 1 stone. You want to pay close attention to the players directly to the left and right of you, because the resources that they produce either on their board or through their brown or gray cards that they've played are going to be available to you for a price of 2 coins for each resource. So you basically would play your card and say, hey, I'm borrowing your ore, there's your coins. There's nothing they can do to stop you from doing that, and there's also nothing that stops them from using their ore during their turns too, since all the turns are played simultaneously. The majority of the game will be spent basically just choosing a card and building that structure, as long as you have the resources available to do so. If you're playing a brown or gray card, you're going to just organize it out from your board like I showed you earlier, or any of the other colors you're just going to put above your board, separated by what colors they are, so that it's easy for everyone to see. The other thing that you can do, however, is you can build up your wonder, which is indicated on the bottom of your board here. And usually it has 3 stages. Some of them are in 2 stages. But you'll choose your card, and then when everyone reveals it, you don't actually do what's on the face of your card. You just put 1 card underneath your wonder like so to indicate that you've done the first stage of that wonder. You still have to be able to pay the resources that you have in the left-hand side, however. And then when you do that, you get some sort of benefit each time. If you don't want to build a structure, or you don't want to build up a stage of your wonder, the third thing you can do is you can just plain discard a card, and you'll get 3 money for doing so. So you can either choose to do that, or if you don't have enough resources to do anything else, then that's an option to you. The first special rule about building is that you can never have 2 of the same card represented by the name of the card. So if I had this scriptorium out here already, I could not play another scriptorium like so. The other special rule about building is that in the lower right hand side of the card, it'll say the name of another card. In this case, the East Trading Post says the Forum down here. Well, on the Forum card, it says up here next to the resources, it says Trading Post. So what that means is if you have this Trading Post, later on you can play the Forum for free. You don't have to pay any of those resources, in this case the 2 bricks. I would just get to play it. In the future, I could also play the Haven after having the Forum, and the Haven would be able to come out for free. So you can get a little series of cards that way. So we talked about the gray and brown structures. Those just basically give you additional resources in the game. We also have blue structures. And the blue structures are civilian structures, which give you additional victory points at the very end of the game after the 3rd age. We also have yellow structures. And these yellow ones are commerce structures, which give you additional benefits of either getting money right away, or you can borrow certain resources from players next to you for 1 coin instead of 2 coins, or they give you resources you can use kind of like the gray and brown cards. However, these cards get played above your board, and players next to you cannot pay to borrow these particular ones. These green cards represent science structures, and they come with one of 3 symbols up at the top. And what those are going to do is score you points at the end of the game in 2 separate ways. The first way is each set of 3 different symbols, like so, is worth 7 points. Then you're going to score each symbol individually based on how many of that same symbol that you have. So if you only have one, that's one additional point. If you have two, it's 4 points. If you have three, it's 9 points. And if you have four of the same symbol, that's a whopping 16 points. The red cards represent military structures, and what's going to happen is at the end of each age, you're going to have a military conflict with both the neighbors to the left and the neighbor to your right of you. You're going to compare the number of these military symbols that you have, and if you have more than them, you're going to get a number of victory points on your board. If you have less, you take a -1 victory point. So if you win, the numbers change depending on what age it is. So you start out just getting 1 victory point for each battle, and then 3 for each battle at the end of the second age, and 5 for each battle at the end of the third age. If you tie with one of your neighbors and you have the same number of military symbols, then you get no tokens. So no negative, but no positive victory points. The last type of cards are these purple cards, and these are guilds. They only come out in the third age of the game, so towards the end of the game, and there's only a limited number of them depending on the number of players. And what they're going to do is give you bonus points, in this case, for each brown card that your neighbor to the left and right have in play. You're going to get 1 victory point at the end of the game, and so on. So we start out with 7 cards in our hand. Each of us are going to choose one to play and then pass those cards around the table. And you just keep doing that until at the very end of this age, you're handed just 2 cards. So once you have 2 cards to choose from, you're just going to choose one of them, and the last card's going to get discarded. So starting with 7 cards, you get to play 6 of them in each age. Once you finish the first age, you'll compare the military cards, score the military victory points based on the neighbors to the left and right of you, and then you're going to start the second age. Play cards and pass them around. At the end of that age, you'll score military again, and the same thing for the third age. You'll score military at the end of the third age. Then at the very end, we score the victory points. The game comes with a nifty score pad, which breaks down all the aspects of the game, which can give you points at the end. There's also really good apps you can use or online calculators. But starting out with the red cards, so the red military cards give you these victory point chips if you win your military conflicts. So you add up all the points from those. You also get points based on the number of coins you have left over at the end. So each 3 coins would equal 1 victory point for you. You also can get points from your wonders. So if you've completed a little stage of your wonder down there, then you would get points if it says so on there. You also get points for the blue cards, civilian structures. They give you various victory points at the top, so you add those up. Some of the yellow cards give you points, so you're going to add up those points. The purple cards, the guild, will give you points based on meeting certain criteria. And then there's also the green cards, the science cards, which you're going to score based on the ways that I showed you earlier. You're going to total up all of those points, and whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. If there is a tie for the most victory points at the end, the player with the most coins in their possession is going to break that tie and be the winner. The last thing to mention is that there's lots of symbology involved in this game. So if people at any point don't understand what a symbol is supposed to actually mean, there's a description chart in here. So just keep that handy so you can hand it out to people if they're confused what something does. So that's 7 Wonders. Now you have all the information you need to go play the game yourself. Don't forget to have fun, and thanks for watching.